so much.
What's going on, everybody? It's Bill Bailey with today's Boondoggle. And real quick housekeeping note, if you're watching us on YouTube and Rumble, please hit that follow and subscribe button to build up our numbers. And also, if you're listening to us on Spotify or iTunes and Google Play and all that stuff, please hit that follow and subscribe so we can appear in your little, so you can get some truth in the middle of the lies that appear on your little, screen every day. But I'm catching up with a good buddy of mine. If we go back to episode 159 of today's Boondoggle, you get to hear the entire Rich Stadtlander story, the epoch, But having Rich back on, and we're going to get to know his band members in the band Valor. So how's everybody doing?
Good, man. Fantastic, man.
Oh, great, man. I got off work early, so
Nice. I was hoping you'd keep the brown uniform on, man.
Oh, yeah.
Come in and punch out for lunch on the dyad. See?
Yeah, right.
I know all that stuff. Peak season coming up, getting ready.
Oh, yeah. Actually, it's funny is that it's actually a lot easier now because 2 years ago when I started driving, they actually really prepared for the peak season. So with that being said, they have every single route on the board filled and stuff like that. And then they also have a bunch of helpers and stuff because, in Central Time, when daylight savings happens, the sun starts setting at 4:30, and it sucks. So what they did was they wanted to go ahead and make sure that we can all finish our routes at 5 p.m. Whereas back in the day, it used to be out on route till 11 p.m. and accidents were happening left and right. So
yeah, you had to have a spotlight to find the addresses and everything.
Oh,
I
yeah.
hated it, dude. I got PTSD from doing that. Not overseas, man. But anyway, that's Nick Conroy, correct?
Yes, sir.
Half UPS driver, half shredder for the band Valor. We got Tim Johnson, right?
Yes, sir.
And guitar player, does vocals, some questionable things under blankets, I believe.
That's me.
Oh, all right. And then
he's world famous.
Oh, I've been cut.
I was told if you yank on it that much, you could go blind. So just be careful. All right.
I tried.
Yeah, Rich has informed me. I'm well aware.
Get your L-arginine and all that stuff, so you're good to go. And then we got Gavin. Is it Knapp?
Yes, sir.
All right, yeah, that's what I was taking earlier, man. And then Rich woke me up. And says you're the songwriter. So I don't know. That's what it said on your Instagram.
Oh no, that's just my Instagram.
You're like the Elton John or something of the band or whatever.
I mean, I'm a songwriter, but these two boys mostly tend to most of the work for Valor here.
And what do you play?
I play guitar, piano, but for Valor I play guitar, but pretty much
it's like everybody plays guitar in Valor,
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
What we didn't tell you is that we're a periphery cover band, so we have 3 guitarists, right?
Yep, that's what we are.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, we've been exposed.
So, like I said, and then Rich Stadtlander, he's the throat behind this. He, like I said, he's a good friend of mine. We got really close during the lockdowns via screens like this. And he shared his story on episode 159. So go back to the archives and check that out. Amazing story of adversity and overcoming addiction and everything. So dude's still he might have jumped off like a Superman when he was a kid, but he's still a Superman in my eyes. So yeah. But yeah, that's an inside joke. You gotta go listen to his story now.
They know.
But so let me start with Nick, and I'll work across. Or no, Tim. All right, go this way. And I don't know if that's the same way on your guys' screen, or am I going the opposite way? Anyway, I'm gonna start with Tim. Tim, originally, what did you want to be when you grew up?
A chef. Not even like I loved food. I just loved cooking food. I just love food, and I thought it was fun to make meals for other people. I always loved doing something for somebody. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like I like being shit.
Nice. And you got that like that batter stir rhythm going under the blankets, so you know you could be.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Practicing.
And then Nick, what'd you want to be when you grew up, other than a UPS driver?
Dude, I always wanted to be a rock star, but I mean, I can't tell you how many times through life my interest went down because of reality, and then certain variables in my life happened, and then went back up again. And always just came back to me, dude. UPS driver was basically one of those jobs where I'm like, all right, well, I'm not gonna get a desk job, so I'm gonna find a way I can like do a heavy, physically demanding job that'll keep my brain busy without doing construction. So settled on that one. But yeah, rockstar, unfortunately.
And real quick, how long were you in the hub before you made it to driving?
Unreal, man. It was like maybe 5 months or so. Let's see. I started July. Dude, 3 months, man. It's crazy.
Wow, you came in at the right time, man. We were like,
oh yeah, dude. I hopped on that
Ever.
opportunity. Yeah, dude. I mean, it used to be you had to work in the hub and load boxes for 8+ years, and then you got seniority, and then the openings would come up, and I hopped on that, and then boom.
Yeah.
So I'm blessed, man, in that way.
Yeah, once they finally get a decent contract and the guy's retired, it opens up some spots. But it took forever for me, man. But anyway, enough of that. And then Gavin, what'd you want to be when you grew up?
It was always a musician, you know, always rock star, pop star, or whatever the hell I could make money off of. You know, I want to be. It's as long as I can remember. I mean, I remember being a very young kid with a ukulele, like pretending that I had like people all around me. I played like this piano love song with my friend in a 7th grade talent show in front of like a lot of people, so that was cool. But it was always just the same thing, just music. It had to be music. I knew how to be, and same shit.
All right. Well, now I'm calling it for a future track. You've got to bust out the ukulele.
Yeah, you're right.
We need that.
The electric ukulele.
Yeah. That'll be a hit. I'm telling you. Watch. And then, so when was it like? And going back over to Tim, when was it that you first like kind of discovered music, and who was it that caught your eye?
Oh, well, definitely Periphery.
I knew that.
Didn't have to think about that. I mean, like, I've always been into music, and I love music from a young age. Like, I played the shit out of Guitar Hero. I was always playing Guitar Hero, and I eventually got into, like, the heavier stuff on that, and, like, loved, like, Kill Switch and whatever I'd find on there. But then I was playing drums for a while, and then I found Periphery because I was in this one cover band with a buddy of mine, and he had tickets to go to a show, and I went to their show, and it changed my life. I was like, I'm going to pick up the guitar and write the melodies that I hear in my head because this was an insane experience, and I want to make people feel the way I did.
Nice.
So, like, I'm going to go with it.
Nice. And how about you, Nick?
Dude, it's crazy. All right, so Linkin Park and then Kiss. Those two bands in the same year changed my life. I was like a 3rd grader, and I heard Meteor for the first time. Most people heard Hybrid Theory, but I started with Meteor because my brother was just bobbing his head one day. I'm like, let me hear that. And it was somewhat like one of their first hit of the album. And that was the first time music ever made me just feel something. I just couldn't stop listening to the albums from start to finish, back when we used to listen to albums all the way through, But then I played Tony Hawk's Underground one day, that video game, and at the very end of the game, you unlocked this level called Highway to Hell with Kiss. And then you saw a video, and then I just became obsessed with Kiss. So Linkin Park's what made me feel something sonically, and that made me fall in love with music. And then I saw Kiss, and I just became obsessed with like the visual image of performance, So those two together are what really are the origins for my progression of music. So yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Kiss was like my gateway drug into music.
Oh, dude. I saw him front row at Loud in Life a few weeks ago, man. It was unreal.
Nice.
Yeah, dude.
And then Gavin, what about you?
Well, I'm sorry. What's the question again?
What like kind of got you? What attracted you to music? What was the first type of music to catch your eye and bring you in?
Shit. I think honestly for me it was kind of like I just remember like for as long as I can remember, my mom would always be like playing piano in the house, and I'd wake up to it and just hear it all the time. And I think it was just like at first it was kind of annoying, but like then I was just like music just became like a part of my life that like I didn't even realize it had taken up such a big space. And then like once I started channeling it, then it was just like it was awesome, you know.
Sorry, my dog's next to me. He busted in. Lay down. Nice. So then, and then like what? Going back to Tim, what like kind of led you to pick up guitar or choose that instrument?
So at first I picked up the guitar and I sucked like terribly. Like I couldn't play like anything, and I was like, oh, screw this. And so I just played drums, and then it was that show at Periphery. I was like, no, I'm gonna pick this up. Like I want to actually spend time on this and do it, and just because I wanted to. And then I got my 7th string for Christmas when I was like 16, and then started learning songs, and then just went from there.
Awesome. I mean, you're so good now. You do it in your sleep.
Well,
and how old are you now?
Under the sheets.
Yeah, that was what, 3 years ago, right?
Yeah, that was 3 years ago.
That was a while ago.
Oh, yeah. I was 26 when I picked up my first 7th string.
Nice. And what about you, Nick?
Eddie Van Halen, straight up. Yeah, may he rest in peace, man.
Yeah. And Gavin?
I just asked it. What's the question again? I'm
Dude,
sorry.
what made you want to pick up guitar?
My mom, once again. I think that in the combination with I don't know, my memory isn't the sharpest, but I don't know. I always just had guitars around me. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna pick this up. I want to do it. A big part of it was Tim, to be honest with you. Whenever we started hanging out, we were 15, and I went over to his house and we were jamming and all that, and it was just like it became a thing that we were doing, and I was like, okay, like this is like the most passion I've ever felt through music, and it was so unwaveringly fulfilling that I just like literally it was like this just feeling I can't even describe. It's just like I had to pick up the guitar and grind my ass off. I just knew I had to, it was just like intuition.
Nice. And then like going back over to Tim, like when did you start like playing with your friends? I mean, it sounded like at 15 you guys kind of started playing together, or
we're not friends. I'm joking.
No, so I started playing with Gavin mostly on whenever we play guitar, and we never played actually like rehearsed. We just wrote. We never jammed really. We just because I played drums with like I used to be in like cover bands with like nearby music schools and stuff like that, like in Asheville and stuff like that. But after that, and after the cover band scene, when I was on the drums, I didn't really rehearse with anybody on the guitar. I just mainly learned songs and wrote, and me and Gavin would write and just hang out and be on the guitar, and we would put drums on there. And that's how we would do it.
And then Nick, when did you start like playing out or getting together with like any other musicians and playing?
Man, I've been doing that honestly. I mean, I guess my first gig ever was like when I was in sixth grade. Yeah, I remember that. It was like,
oh shit.
So I mean, like for years.
Oops, sorry.
Shit.
You look worried, man.
I know. I scared the shit out of myself. I was trying to hit mute so I could like cough, and you guys don't have to listen to me. But
nah, but man, it was like years on and off since 2006, man. I mean, like I went to college for music. I was a classical guitarist. that was basically my major at WKU. I did that. I was in a band through high school. You know, we actually gained a decent following too. So I mean, dude, it's just kind of I've been on and off and on and off, and then now here I am at 28 years old. I found these guys, and I'm like, all right, this is. I'd like to quit UPS, and the way to do that is I got to get better and start, you know, grinding with these guys. So
Yeah.
I think my stars for finding them, man.
Yeah, find out like through your union if you can like, you know, if you guys start playing out, if you can like kind of freeze your, you know, seniority and stuff like that. So that way it's there just in case. You know?
I don't know if they'll let me, but yeah, I mean, it's definitely worth looking into, but oof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they had to for me when I was in the military, you know, and I got deployed and shit. But, you know, I guess the touring in a band is kind of different. So,
Yeah.
but,
Exactly. Yeah, so who knows?
Still a tour, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, I got some money saved up, so hopefully I wouldn't need to. Hopefully, if they just tell me to screw off, you know, I'll be okay for a minute, right? You know.
and then when did you guys all kind of like get together and Valor started becoming?
So like, it's been like on and off for like this is like 6 years. It's like actually been in existence, but like the past, I'd say the new Valor, like the official what's going on right now and everything has been going on since about February of this year. It's really when it started. Rich and I found each other. We started making things happen. We found Nick. We found Texas, and Gavin, my friend. We moved down here together, and we all just ended up getting together and playing, making music, making things happen. Had the same goal, had the same.
It's kind of a funny story because me being ancient, right, compared to all these guys, I put an ad on Craigslist just saying, hey, pro metal vocalist looking for a band or whatever, just seeing if I get any bites. And the day before, Tim was like, they just been in Nashville like a month and a half
Like
prior.
literally a month.
Yeah, and he was just like, fuck, I can't find anybody. And his mom told him, was like, why don't you look on Craigslist? and he's like, Craigslist? Seriously? And then there's my ad, and he listened to him all the
First one on there.
tracks. And he's like, holy shit. So came over and then we just I recorded the song that just like a practice outline, you know. And we're like, hey, you want to do this? And we're like, yeah, let's do it. So and then we just kind of started writing music together, and then everybody else kind of fell into place, you know. So thank you, Craigslist. The outdated advertising. Yeah.
Sometimes the old way still works pretty good.
Yeah, it still
Who would've
works.
thought?
They probably thought they were going to be in an episode of To Catch a Predator or something, you know.
Probably.
Yeah.
You know, this old dude looking for guitar players. You know? But so then, like, you know, Valor, like Nick, when did you come into it then?
I think was it Memorial Day weekend? Was that I think it was Memorial Day weekend that I actually met with them first.
What month is that?
It's
Wow.
Very end of May.
Oh,
So basically June 1st, I guess you could say. But yeah, man, our previous drummer, he did yoga with Rich, and I knew him through, we used to work together like before the pandemic. Well, we didn't work together. We worked for the same company. It's a local Nashville joint. It's like a coffee joint that has a restaurant. I worked for the restaurant. He worked for the coffee joint. I'd been uploading guitar videos since the beginning of this year, you know, and he's always been commenting like, dude, hell yeah, man, that's sick. And I'm like, oh, I kind of forgot about him. He was always a cool dude. Then one day, it was like a few weeks before Memorial Day, he was like, hey man, there's a band with potential opportunity that's looking for a guitarist / bassist. I don't know, they're gonna figure it out, but I just wanted to know if you're interested, and I'll let them know. I was like, dude, absolutely, because I was like, please get me out of this complacent lifestyle, you know. So yeah, then I met them, and I was like, all right, well, I mean, I don't know if I'll have time, you know, I got this big job. And I sat down and immediately vibed with them. I was like, oh, okay, these guys are cool, yeah. And then Tim was like, all right, well, here's this song. And I heard It was
What's the first song?
the first song actually is the new music video. Catalyst.
Oh,
about to
really?
release.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
it used to be called. I remember we used to call it. It was called Pit Opener.
Yeah.
It sounded like a pit opener.
Yeah.
I heard 8 strings. Like I heard a very well articulate, meticulous style 8-string song, and I was like,
Yeah.
that was literally my reaction. And then
No, your real reaction though was kind of a little vulgar for podcast.
yeah, man. Like it was, I knew right there. I was like, dude, I gotta.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know, man. I gotta make something. I gotta find a way to stay with these dudes. And then like afterwards, I heard all their stuff, and then Rich was like, stood up, he stretches like, so is it official? I'm like, I mean, like, I don't want to hold you guys back. I got a full-time job, and he's like, I mean, dude, it'll take a minute. And I'm like, well, yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, dude, it was just, and then it just clicked, and then we've been kind of like family ever since, man. It's
Yeah,
awesome,
it really is
dude.
more of a family than a band.
I
I'll
guarantee-
stand by that.
I'll speak for myself when I say this. I don't know. I feel like they also something, but like I feel like I'm growing as a person around these guys. You
Oh,
know?
hell
And
yeah.
I said that, like, you know, moving to Nashville, like there's a lot of people who just want to clout chase, you know, just kind of find their way into Carrie Underwood's spot as their guitarist and make 6 figures or whatever. But like, I was like, I don't want to be in a band unless I can have like an actual relationship with people, like good friendship, you know, like brotherhood, camaraderie, you know, sisterhood. You know what I mean? I don't want to.
Yeah.
Sisterhood.
Sister,
Yeah.
brotherhood. I don't know if there's a girl in there. We did have a girl in the band.
We
so you know
did.
what I mean?
We did. Yeah.
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 Yeah. You know what I mean? But yeah, no, dude. And I can tell I've grown as a human just being around, you know, people from different walks of life and stuff. And Rich has honestly taught me a lot, man. I just finished sober October, man, and I think I want to keep going for a minute. You know, can't promise I'm always going to be sober, but I'm motivated by it, you know, because I accomplished a lot this month, and I'm seeing how much Valor has grown.
Mhm.
It's just not just from this month, but I mean, like, I think my mindset is a lot more productive with the band when I'm not hungover, you know. And I think, man, sobriety, man, like I said, I can't guarantee you, I'm gonna stay sober, but I very much I like the lifestyle, man, and I'm grateful I'm able to understand the benefits of it, you know, because there was a time where before I joined them, I was just getting drunk and playing video games on the weekend. And I'm like, all right, what's my purpose? All right, cool. So yeah, this has been an awesome thing, man.
Yeah, these guys, they know what world I come from, and they know the life that I've lived, you know, and so I just like, it's not just the music, but it's like I try to mentor them the best that I can to just kind of like, and we all help each other out, you know, but just try to like, it's like a growth, you know, type thing, man. It's just like a betterment group as well as a band, you know. And so just becoming better men, you know, and I always tell them every little mistake I've ever made in my life, you know, and I tell them the number one lesson that you could learn from me is to learn from my mistakes, you know, and they actually listen. So it's wild.
I tell my kids that, you know.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, my youngest was with me at Hatebreed, and she saw these guys, and she's just like, what is wrong with that? I'm like, I used to be like that. She's like, God, I'm so happy you're not anymore. I'm like, I know, me too.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, I mean, I think everybody can benefit from, you know, involving the steps in their life, you know,
For sure.
and you know, you guys are in good hands with Yogi Stadtlander there, you know.
Yeah.
He'll lead you on the right path, man. Good dude. And if you don't know all his story, go to episode 159 of today's Boondoggle.
Oh, we've heard some fun stories.
Check it out. And then like, so, you know, you guys get the band together, and was this like when you guys met, was this pre lockdowns or after?
Well, when we did our interview, I was in Johnson City, Tennessee, and so then I had just moved to Nashville, like pretty much shortly after we did that, and I decided to just take one more shot at this music thing because we were talking about it, you know, left and right, and
Yeah.
you know, plus like who we go to meetings with and some of our best friends. Just like I just took it as messages like God's telling me to go for it. You know,
Yeah.
He's saying you're just as good. You help these guys out, they help you. Like why not go for it, man? You know, I took it as a message and found Tim, and we just, you know, like I said, everything just fell into place, man. So So to answer your question, long story short, I don't think we were locked down when that last February. I don't think we were.
Okay. And then, like, who's filling in for the? Because I mean, so, like when I was reading everybody's little Instagrams and everything, everybody's playing guitar. Like, who's filling in, playing bass, and who's playing drums? And
so Texas is not here, but he's playing bass.
okay.
We're currently actually in the process of getting a new drummer. And we just tried somebody out on Sunday, and we're going to continue to try him out. We're hopeful, eventually though, it's looking pretty good. Either way, we're hopeful with our music that regardless if this guy doesn't work out, somebody's gonna be like, hey, we're gonna find somebody who won't, because we want to find somebody who's really passionate about what we're doing, and is willing to go the distance, because we all are. We all just like, we have a dream and we're gonna go for it no matter what, to the very end, to the depths of whatever capacity we can. So, we need to find that same attitude that matches our energy, And
then, so like, what I was kind of understanding, I guess, when you were talking earlier, was like Valor was kind of already a band before Rich came into it, or
take it away.
Yes, sir. So it was a long, it was like around, I think I was in sophomore year high school, maybe around that time. And it was just like a project, kind of. Nobody was in the band. It was just me and then Gavin eventually, and then we were just making music, and it became our thing. And then we put out a couple like demo albums and stuff like that aren't available anymore. But we just that's what we did. We just had a band for a little bit. We would make everything on Cubase and just edit in the drums, play the bass, and do everything ourselves essentially. And then we would be the band, and then up until this year.
Nice. And then, what was it that inspired you to pick the name Valor?
I don't even know the answer. That's a great question.
I know the answer.
I don't know the answer.
Y'all don't want to know.
No, be profound. Let's see. I guess we're about to find out together.
So funny enough, that year I was playing a video game. I was playing Kingdom Hearts 2. And there was this form that Sora, one of the character, unlocks in the game.
Please
edit
this out.
I gotta know.
And I was like, that's an interesting name. And I just thought the word was cool. I liked cool words and shit like that. And so I was like, this is cool. I looked up the meaning. I was like, this is, it just kind of clicked. I liked the word. I liked the meaning. I liked how it was pronounced. It looked cool. It was like, fuck it.
I thought you were going to tell me some cool story about you had an uncle with Nam.
Cool.
He was in Nam, and
Yeah, we're going to make something up.
Yeah.
We're definitely going to have some story.
Yeah.
Somebody definitely should have intercepted that.
So these two's Valor is completely different than what Rich and I thought of when we heard Valor.
Yeah.
Him and I'll never forget, man. Like, I don't know if we're gonna go into it, but like, what was it? I was just sitting there, chilling that day, and they were talking about. I remember Rich said the conspiracy theory is, and my ears pricked up. And then he's like, the illegal immigrants are coming over the border of Mexico. And, apparently the conspiracy theory is that because of that, the powers that be are letting them come in and making this fentanyl crisis happen, because we talked about someone who overdosed. And then I said, is that a conspiracy theory? And he goes, no. And I'm like, and then he was like, yeah, the World Economic Forum. I'm like, all right, we get it. He gets it, this guy. So then
nice.
I think ever since he said that, man, I guess the word Valor kind of him and I were just kind of in sync with what we thought Valor meant. You know what I'm saying? We're getting these two on board, but
yeah. That's cool because me and Rich talk quite a bit about that kind of stuff. So it's good to have more people paying attention. It's like
it's
the barcodes, man.
it's not about them getting on board. It's just like, you know, they're waking up to reality, because the reality is just like they're significantly younger, right? They're the next generation. And so, like I said, man, I just want them to be aware of what's really going on in the world, you know, and what I deal with every day is enough to say, hey, what the hell is really going on? You know, because as you know, Valor is what I want my primary job to be, but I work as an admissions navigator, you know, for a big treatment conglomerate. And every day I talk to at least one pregnant, fentanyl addicted woman with no insurance. And I talk to multiple fentanyl users every day. And 4 years ago, this wasn't a problem, you know? And so I started asking questions, and the fact is the border is open, and they're just letting all this fucking shit come into our country, killing so many kids. Statistically, it's killed more than 2 world wars combined, fentanyl already in the last 2 years. Can you believe that shit, man? And I fight this fight every day, you know? So it's just, I fight for everybody. I fight for them. And that's what we just want to do through our music, is just fight for everybody too, you know?
Yeah. It's like, I mean, we've talked, and it's like, you know, we're already in World War III, you know?
Yeah.
They're just using soft kill weapons to, you know, thin the herd, you know?
Yeah.
But, yeah. And then, so, you know, we're going to get into, you know, the main reason why we wanted to get on here today, because you guys, going to be dropping a music video and a single. And you got a question, or?
Who, me?
Gavin, I thought he was raising his hand or something.
He's being a typical Gen Zer on a podcast.
Oh, he's giving Rich the bunny ears. That's like MK Ultra. That's
did you really?
Oh.
Yeah. But anyway, so Catalyst, man. Let's talk about Catalyst. What's Catalyst mean to you, and what message are you hoping to get out to everybody through it?
Yeah, I don't.
Hey, man.
Are we free to talk? I don't know, man. I mean,
Read the lyrics.
I don't have it available.
Yeah. So the lyrics, okay. Look, the hook and the chorus basically says that we are the weapon, and there's a dual meaning to that. How I feel is that society is a weapon. It can be we can be weaponized against each other, or we could also be a weapon for good. You know, and so if we have the ability to be a weapon and weaponize toward each other, what if we directed that and weaponized us towards the power of good, towards the power of evil, you know, essentially. And we're just trying to, like, you know, wake people up. You know, it doesn't matter party affiliation. Like, the illusion of Republican and Democrat is over. It's bullshit.
Yeah, it's like pro wrestling, man. It's face versus heel. They're all the same behind the locker room, you know?
Right. Exactly. It's like they'll show themselves and act like they hate each other and go get drinks after, you know, together. And like, it's a big show. And the reality is, man, I mean, like, I hate fucking talking about this shit, man. Yeah. But we need to restore power back to the people, you know, because they work for us, we don't work for them. And right now there's like 700 representatives total, whether it's statewide, whether it's federal, that think that we work for them. And the reality is, according to the Constitution, they work for us, and we need to be the weapon. You know, that's kind of what I feel like we wrote the song about.
Like, realizing, as in, the lyrics, we are the weapon, is like, if we want change, the people have to make it, no matter what it is. Like, we are the weapon. If you want change, you're gonna have to do it.
Yeah, like Elon and Big Don aren't our heroes, man. They ain't here to really do the work for us.
We are the weapon. We are the hero that we've been looking for the whole time.
Yeah.
You know, it starts with one and then many, you know. And so,
if I may,
the Catalyst.
I don't think the lyrics of Catalyst would have turned out the way it did without. I got to give a shout out, man, to Tommy Vex, dude, because for real, man, without him standing up to the music industry and
Uh-oh, what happened?
They heard me say
Tommy.
Tommy, so they blocked us. No, dude, look at dude. Tommy is I think he's a hero to the metal community. They just don't know it yet, man, because he was the first person. He was in the whole heavy community. Everyone loved him, right? But ever since riots started happening, COVID, all this conglomeration of things that never happened in our lifetime started happening. He was the first in the music industry to speak up and say, "Hey, here's what's going on." And there was no hate. If you watch that Marker video, man, he explained it perfectly, dude. And then the entire industry just turned on him and just dead named him. And well, not dead named, but you know what I mean. They just blacklisted him from the entire industry. They ruined his career temporarily. But dude, nobody in the metal community will speak up about what's really going on. Metal since the beginning, or just rock and roll, has been about rebellion.
Yeah.
It's not rage with them, which is what they essentially are now.
Right.
Dude, I'm telling you, I really hope we can lead the new resistance in terms of metal and what it's supposed to be, being original. And I tell you what, if this wave is coming of people who are understanding what's going on and they're not afraid to talk to the labels and say, "Hey, we don't need you and we don't need you telling us what to do," man, I'm telling you, Tommy started this, man, and we all got to give credit where it's due, dude. So rep your lone wolf stuff, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think a wave is coming. I think people are reaching a precipice, of bullshit, and I'm hoping that it's just enough's enough, and we're just trying to be what metal, like Nick said, what metal is supposed to be, which is really pushing the envelope, and really and saying, because music shapes a culture, and we just want to participate in that. It's not end all be all. We're not like the fucking voice, but I mean, there are people that come before us, but we want to do what music was intended to do, which is really shape the culture and display what people are really feeling, not just cookie cutter bullshit that that they want you to think, they want you to feel. We want to be an independent artist that just says what people are really thinking.
We should also
so many of our metal people that I always looked up to just was like, dude, you're going along to get along, you don't want to jeopardize, you don't want to make waves, and it's just that's what it's supposed to be about, making waves, man. So yeah, I mean, I'm with you, man. Shout out to Tommy. I had him on here too, and he I was like, yeah, this one ain't gonna make it on YouTube, but that's all right.
Man, honestly, dude, we should probably specify we are the weapon and stuff. Ultimately, what our goal is with our music, when we say things like "we are the weapon," what we're saying underneath it all is, hey, open your eyes and realize we all want unity at the end of the day. We all want to live happily together. Before we get there, we have to realize, hey, something's going on. Your neighbor's not your enemy just because they look different, just because they believe different. Dude, love your neighbor, man. Help them out and realize it's we're all cool.
The reality is the majority have a lot more in common than, regardless of party affiliation, than they think.
Oh yeah.
And it's they turn it into a sports game, a competitive, like you said with wrestling, oh, it's my favorite sports team, my favorite Republican, and just because somebody says that, they have to dissent from somebody else's opinion. The reality is we all have more in common, and so we've been coining the phrase, we're the people's band, Valor, which means courage. And that's we're just having the courage to speak up, especially on this first release. We're coming out swinging.
Yeah,
we're coming out fucking swinging.
Dude, we're not Republican or Democrat, man.
Yeah,
we're just pro Constitution and pro people.
That's
really what it is. Pro.
And so it's going to be out in a couple days here, November 4th. On all the platforms. So the video and the single is going to drop on November 4th, correct?
Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
Just in time for midterms, man. It's good timing.
What a coincidence.
What a coincidence.
Be a catalyst.
Yeah.
And then the past couple of years, it's and you kind of touched on it too, is we have more in common than we we can't come to the table together if we're so party strong, you know, if we're not willing to sit down and listen and hear what the other person has to say because they wear a different color than our guy, you know. And it's like asking questions the past few years seem to be a big no-no, you know, on social media and everything. But you know, hopefully things are starting to turn around, you know, and we're going to start being able to, because I remember the stuff I used to be able to like watch on YouTube, and then all that disappeared, you know.
Yeah, there's buzzwords you can't say.
Yeah. Meanwhile, you can watch porn on Twitter, like
Right, and Instagram.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Instagram.
Not that I would know, but yeah, I've
Just
heard.
Instagram,
Yeah.
like real talk.
Yeah, I mean it, and you see the flippening. You know, I think there's a wave coming. You know, like with, I mean, Tulsi Gabbard. You know, hardcore Democrat who I said a long time ago I would have voted for because I really thought she foundationally she really believed in the Constitution. Now her opinions may not have been the same as others, but she's now flipped over to like this party has left me. I have no idea, you know, and I guess she's now Republican, but you know, still there's a lot of bad Republicans out there too.
Oh, dude.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
tons. So it just needs a reshape and a reform, you know, and it starts with us, the people, dude. Like they have to make them realize that they work for us. We don't work for them.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much like information, misinformation, disinformation, distractions, you know, like Paul Pelosi and Hammer Time now. And, you know, just like they throw so much, you know, crap at us. It's not like, keep us looking over here and not realizing, hey man, this is all theater. The world's a stage, you know?
Yeah, it's like Shakespeare said that. I think it's called the Hegelian Dialectic.
Hegelian Dialectic. Yeah.
Hegelian Dialectic, right? Like the whole the problem, reaction, solution.
Yep.
And then the divide and conquer, the look over here. Meanwhile, we're gonna do this in the background.
Yeah.
You know, like you mentioned, you know, and so
Isn't it weird that
guys froze up again? Uh-oh.
it'll get back in a second. There you go.
and we're back.
Sorry, what I was saying though, isn't it crazy though? Like we're at a time now. Anytime I see a headline, I'm like, okay, maybe I should go ahead and read this real quick because chances are that headline's just clickbait and they're probably taking things way out of context just to make money off that headline. Then you read it, it's just completely different. Like, oh wait, what?
Oh, that's literally everything.
Literally everything.
what.
It's not even just political stuff. And then you realize like all these, like I remember like, Time magazine and like all these mainstream, like what was it, New York Times, all that stuff now. Like I don't trust it for a second, man. It's like it used to be the most reputable source, and now I'm just like I gotta like meticulously like or thoroughly read the article and make sure that they're not like giving us any BS. You know what I'm saying? But that's another thing, man. You got these little smartphones, these black mirrors in our hand that just disrupt our pineal gland, or I don't know. I'm not a neuroscientist, but it's just distracting us so much that we're just so conditioned to become distracted. I literally spent all weekend on my phone just looking at my Instagram. And because of that, I got to work today and I felt so much more antisocial. And I was just like bumping into people, like not understanding like social cues and getting out of the way of people. It was weird, man. So I think that like, you know, I guess the conspiracy theory is like, you know, we're just getting so distracted. We're getting conditioned to become so distracted consistently that we see a headline and move on and believe it.
Well, the reality is too, man, is like, I don't know where this interview is going. I don't know if it's going to go on YouTube anymore, right?
I love it.
But yeah, you get me and Nick started.
Yeah.
Stop, man.
I mean, we've talked, you know.
But this is the cell phone is one more step towards transhumanism. You know, I mean, we're already a symbiotic fucking being because people are attached to their phones and are afraid to have intimate conversations and look and make eye contact when they're walking past people around like down the road. You know.
Yeah, I see that with my daughters, man. Like my youngest is woken up and now sending me stuff and paying attention, but my oldest is still like, you know, it's like it lights up those dopamine receptors, man.
Yeah,
you know, it's another
sympathetic happiness, man. That's all it really is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like we get to the point now where you just see a red little icon pop up in the top right of this app, and you just instantly feel joyous.
Yeah.
And you see it, it's like, oh, it's not the specific person I wanted to see. Well, maybe that's just me. I guess I'm weird like that, but you know, I think that's like the whole the dopamine philosophy when it comes to the whole likes and gratification instantaneously, you know. So
Yeah. And I mean, it's been a slow progression, you know, over the years, man, to get us complacent enough to finally attack to get to further full world domination. I mean, I hate to sound crazy, but it's true, man. I never in a million years thought that we'd be in this position as a society, but here we are, you know. And it's just,
Well, how they were able to pull this Agenda 2030 type thing off, you know, during COVID, you know, how every government across the world, you know, was all in lockstep, man.
Yep.
And it was a test run, you know, I believe. And it's like, okay, yeah. Talk about you know, the new world order. It's coming, man.
Well, the fact that they tell us in broad daylight, and what is
they
it?
have to.
Yeah, isn't that part of like the whole secret society created when it comes to the Illuminati? You have to say broad daylight. What is it? The reasoning behind that is because if you can successfully do that and people just go along, then you successfully manipulated them or something. Is that the philosophy behind it, or?
I'm not sure. I can't verbatim say the philosophy.
Yeah.
But you know, it wasn't necessarily the governments; it was the central banks, because it was the whole financial system, the Federal Reserve System, that controls the world, that had leverage over the governments. So it wasn't, they had to do it, right? Because who knows? It probably derives from the whole Epstein thing and the whole whatever. But let's not go there. Or if you want to, fuck it, let's go there.
Dude, like, you gotta
look
think
it up, man.
Genius
People need to do their own homework, man. We're not going to convince them. You know?
Yeah, dude, I know, man. It's so gnarly. But right now, man, it's that. Then see, that's what this whole Russia thing is about. Because Russia's no longer on the Federal Reserve System. They're debt free. They're on a gold standard. And then them with the BRICS nations, so Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. And I argue that it's based on Ripple, you know, and so, but NATO wants to go to war and then broadcast this media, oh, Russia's bad, you know, but the reality is they just want them to be in the debt slavery system like the rest of the world.
Yeah. Well, which brings me to
money.
My next question too. Like, you know, Catalyst coming out, you know, November 4th. So that's the single. But I'm waiting. When is the EP Tomato Nasara Gasara coming out?
Well, I think we decided this week that we're probably going to go ahead and start working on a second music video, right? Because unfortunately in the music industry now, like, you know, Napster killed album sales essentially from the beginning. So you got to do single, release single, hype it up. Got to use your social media platforms, make viral TikToks, reels on Instagram, all that stuff. So we're going to release this one song. Can I say the song title? Or
Yeah,
it's called Paradigm. And it's basically so Catalyst is basically a 3-part series. We got one called Catalyst, we got one called Paradigm, and then First Blood. It's essentially a trilogy. And the topic of it is what we're basically talking about right now. It's a trilogy. And we're working on the music video for that one next, and we want to try and release it before New Year's this year. But you know, we found a great music video producer, or just a videographer, who's worked with quite a few bands that they have some notoriety, and he's down to do this one too. He said, "I've always wanted to do metal music video," and he was really hyped to work with us, and he like put his heart and soul into it and got us a good first draft like the next night. So I'm like, all right, so we actually have some opportunities to spit out content pretty quick. So my bad, I'm going on a rant, but to answer your question, we got that next single hopefully coming out, and videos. We're going to release it the same way we're releasing Catalyst. We're hopefully doing that mid to late December.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, I'm looking forward to
full-length album also on the way, hopefully around the first or second quarter of next year.
Nice.
Yeah,
man, let's make it happen. Get the word out. You'd be the Paul Revere's of metal.
Yeah, unfortunately, I have that Poke the Bear controversial gene in my body, and I've always enjoyed it. So,
well, I can't help but fight, man. I tell them all the time, and they get all mad at me when I say, "Look, dude, I don't care. Like I've lived a life. I've experienced so much, every human emotion. But what fucking pisses me off is now these kids won't have an opportunity in life. Just like you have daughters. Well, I have two sons that piss me the fuck off. that I want to live a life.
Yeah.
You know, and if that gets taken away from them, then I feel stolen from it. I don't want that to be stolen from them. You know, so I'll die for a cause for them. You know, I mean, if I don't want to die, but they're like, we don't want you to die. I'm like, I don't care, you know.
And I was saying the same thing the other night, man. It's just like I had a good run, man.
Yeah,
I'll
exactly.
be turning 50 here in in March, and I mean, I know I could go longer, and I always told my higher power, man, it's like, just let me at least walk my daughters down the aisle, hand them off on their wedding day. That's all I'm not asking for much. And then, then the world shut down and everything got crazy, and just like, all right, now I'm asking for them to just be able to walk freely, for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
And
Crazy,
it's not about us anymore. It's about them.
No,
I agree 100%, man. Let's talk real quick too. Then you guys were kind enough to throw together a badass intro for the podcast here.
These two straight up.
Yeah. I mean, Rich was on a text thread, with some people. I was kind of nagging about it, and he was just like, you just said, screw it, I'm going to pick it up and do it, and it came out better than I even imagined, what I was visualizing and stuff, and just like so happy with how it came to be. But like, is that something else you guys might do for on the side, become like jingle people or metal jingle guys?
Metal jingles.
Set up some ringtones.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, it's funny because we were on a text thread with some pretty notable musicians who promised up and down that would just like, I mean, I don't know, I'm not speaking for you, but they were, I remember you saying, hey man, what about the music? You guys gonna do this? And I was like, fuck it. I was like, we'll do it, and I will make it sick as fuck, dude. So
yeah.
And we did it like in an hour.
Yeah.
Like when you scream my name, dude, that's what I need as my like alarm to get up in the morning. Set that as my alarm. When I was taking that nap earlier, I was just like, I need to get ready for this interview. All right, I'm ready. But it's awesome, man. I totally appreciate you guys and everybody. These are the guys. All the people that listen. These are the guys that put that intro together for us. So.
Man, it was definitely these two.
Yeah.
Rich and Tim, man. Hey, dude, they spit stuff out like that. And another thing about this band I'm thankful for is I've never met any more hardworking musicians in my life, and for that I'm so grateful.
Yeah, we are on grind mode.
Dude, don't let these two 19-year-olds, don't let them sell themselves short. I'm gonna brag on them for a minute, dude. Like that stuff that they're saying, oh, that's not available anymore. We recorded an album, dude. It's no 16-year-old has any business recording the quality music. And I've been playing music for a long time, and I was like, that's insane.
Yeah.
So, yeah, don't let them sell themselves short, man. They're insane.
Yeah, it was wild when I met Timmy. I was just like, I heard the sound, and then so it was original First Blood, and I was like, I heard it, and I knew where it was going. I was like, please go there. And then fucking just hit this gnarly breakdown. And I was like, yes! And I kicked the chair, and my roommates were like, dude, are you okay? I was like, oh, I found it! And so I found the sound I was looking for. And then me and Timmy have just been, writing instrumentals. It's been crazy.
Timmy's breakdowns officially made me go bald. It was awesome.
And like, what kind of goals you guys got for the band going forward?
Huge ones.
I'm trying to
Give us. We're hungry.
I want to
The sky's the limit, man.
I've always said like, what if I've always said like, I'm trying to like get them to go to the gym with me all the time. I'm like, what if we all like got into a really good workout routine, then really start on supplement brand? But that's also
That'd be awesome.
Hey, man.
that's like
awesome.
I'm trying to think like
awesome.
I mean I would say like, yeah, I want to try and be different, but there's so like that supplement industry is like infinite.
We can find our own
now,
niche.
Yeah, but I mean like it's little
I'll
things
bring
like
you
that.
guys in as a sponsor.
You're right. I want to.
Sponsored by Muscle Farm.
I don't know. I
We
kind
have
of
our
do
own
like.
Viagra. All you gotta do is
I want
listen.
to. I don't know if anyone who listens.
Hey, it worked for Bill, am I right?
What?
No, he mentioned gotta remember they're 19.
No, we talked about it. We
No,
talked about it before.
no, he listened to our
vocals,
intro.
man.
He's like,
I was like, man, freaking
yeah, man.
vocals get me ready.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I could just like bust into the bedroom, you know, Bill Bailey, you know, and
Bill Bailey.
with the rocket ship ready to go, man.
Yeah.
And then like what's something that you guys feel like, I mean there's a big age difference and stuff. You guys are under the learning tree of Yogi Statlander here, but you know, what's something you guys feel like, all of you feel like you could still learn, you know, going forward, improve on?
Honestly, this thing I struggle with every day personally is instilling more and more. There's always more discipline you could incorporate in your life. You know?
Yeah.
Like a year ago,
Discipline.
I was going to the gym at like 5 a.m. every day, and I just stopped. You know, so there and.
Now he only goes when I ask him to.
Yeah, this guy right here. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. So there's always room for more. There's always work to be done with something in your life, whether it's Valor or anything else. You know, just trying to remind yourself of that. So that's one of those things I still keep learning how to do. It's trial and error, man. But you know, I guess being aware of it's the first step.
Keeping that healthy balance, for sure. Of just like. Basically what he said, yeah.
Yeah.
And then any message you guys have for our military members currently serving overseas?
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Thank you for your
Lord.
service. It's not easy to leave your families. God bless you guys.
Mhm.
It's you know, your families are waiting for you to come home. We're all praying for you. We all want the best thing for you guys, your families in this country. And I honestly can't say thank you enough because I wish I could have enlisted, but I couldn't for personal weird reasons, medically speaking. But yeah, you guys are the legit heroes of America and the world, actually.
Do the impossible.
And yeah, stick to your guns, man.
Nice.
Drive it home.
And then you know, for any of the audience out there that's like, I mean, we've been going about an hour, so get ready to wrap up. But any of the audience out there that's new to hearing about Valor, excited to be, you know, anxiously waiting for Catalyst to drop, where would you send them?
We can send it to our Instagram for now. It's Valor Band on Instagram. They'll have a link tree in our bio and all sorts of other links and stuff like that, so you can go and view everything and when it will drop, music video, where it will drop, and all that smooth jazz.
Nice. Well, and I know Rich has an important call he's got to get to. My head is pounding. I could talk more and more about, you know, going down the rabbit holes with everything going on in the world with you guys, but I think I'm going to go back and take a nap here shortly. So we'll get ready and wrap up with you guys. But real quick, before I let you go, you guys mind cutting a promo ID for the show? Just like introduce yourselves, and you're listening to today's Boondoggle.
Sure. My name is Rich. I'm from the band Valor, and you're listening to today's Boondoggle.
Awesome. I was thinking everybody introduce themselves, what they do, and then end with we're from the band Valor, and you know.
Wait, what should we say?
Everybody
You know what I think we should do?
They're also partially mentally retarded. So
Watching
Well, there were no
Disney
clear
Channel.
instructions.
you watching Disney Channel?
No, I think what we should do is you go, I'm Rich, I'm Tim, I'm Nick, I'm Gavin, and then one of us says, and you're watching the Boondoggle podcast.
Exactly.
All right.
Yes, guy. He knows how to organize shit.
You say Rich, and then you say it, and you're watching the Boondoggle.
Am I gonna say I'm from the band Valor, and we're from the band Valor?
We're Tim, Nick, Gavin, we're Valor, and this is
Okay.
You should do that.
All right,
There
ready?
you go. Yeah.
All right. My name is Rich,
I'm Tim.
I'm Nick.
I'm Gavin.
and we're from the band Valor, and you're watching today's Boondoggle.
Yeah. Nailed it. I was gonna put out an ad on Craigslist for somebody to do a promo ID for me, but
Nice.
it worked out. Thanks, man.
Yeah, man.
Thanks, Bill. Nice to meet
All
you, man.
right, guys. I'm gonna jet, but thanks for your time, and looking
better,
forward to
man.
seeing the video.
Yeah, man.
Thank you, sir. Have a good
Hey,
day.
man, drink some body armor. That should help.
Oh yeah.
Seriously.
There you go.
Yeah,
All right,
so-
man. Take care.
All right, brother. Later, Bill.